Hello, my loves. Welcome to Pain to Joy. My name is Danielle Seti, and I would like to thank you from my whole heart for being here today. Speaking of hearts, how is your heart? If you can, wherever you are, close your eyes. Maybe place a hand on your heart. If it feels good to you, breathe into your heart space. Take a couple of deep inhales and exhales if that's available to you. And let's just be here now. I had just started recording a version of this podcast and it went off the rails. Went into a direction that I was not prepared to go and share. Because as I've mentioned in the past, I like to share from the scar, not from the wound. And there's something I'm feeling very passionate about in this moment, and I don't want to sleep on it. And even though I just tried to record and it wasn't the take that I wanted to use, I usually do a one-take wonder. I'm going to start again and share what's on my heart. My niece saw me cry on Sunday before family dinner. I was in the bedroom where I sleep usually at my parents' house. I was looking out the patio door window. The tears were streaming down. They were hot. They were flowing big tears. And I didn't know that my niece had come into the room behind me. I wasn't ashamed of my tears. I wasn't afraid of showing her that I was crying. But I wiped them away and turned around and proceeded to cry a bit more. And she said, "Auntie Dee, I've never seen you cry before." And I was genuinely surprised by this because she will be 10 very soon. And we had a conversation and she had seen what had unfolded in part for me to feel this way. I was overtired and exasperated by a situation that had taken place and confused. I was on I don't know how many days in a row of migraines and had my moon time and cramps. And we chatted about it. And I believe we talked a little bit about being human and how it's important to feel our feelings and that I'm okay. And then we went to the park and we had a really fun time. But it got me thinking about how a few years back, I was in an accident in 2010. And a few years after that, I was sharing on Facebook a lot of inspirational quotes, a lot of motivational quotes. I love quotes. I'm going to share some quotes today, I'm sure, in this podcast. I already have. Share from the scar, not from the wound. But I am sure that I probably was or was perceived as a toxic positivity person because I was not in a great place emotionally, physically. And when I shared inspirational quotes, motivational quotes, that was a survival mechanism. That was a tool that I was using because I was overtired. I was in a lot of pain. I was experiencing panic and panic attacks. And I looked to those quotes as something to hold on to. It gave me hope and faith and belief that things would get better. And over time, things have gotten better. And some things haven't. And that's why I'm sharing this today, in that in 2012, I had a doctor say, and this was at a time when I had quite bad vertigo. I wasn't working at the time. I had bad headaches, migraines. I was nauseous. I had a hard time being around people. Like I mentioned, I couldn't work, and teaching was a love of my life. And I was in a lot of pain. And he said, "This is as good as it's going to get." And that was in the fall of 2012. And call it optimism, call it delusion, call it self-belief. I refused to believe that I wasn't going to leave my bedroom and that I wouldn't ever be able to travel again and that I wouldn't be able to go to a concert again and that I wouldn't be able to spend quality time with family and friends again and not be in a lot of pain. I refused to believe that. And I'm so thankful that I did. I was messaging with a friend today who's so brilliant and so beautiful, and she has physical challenges and autoimmune disease that she has been dealing with almost her entire life. And she is an incredible source of inspiration to me, an amazing, caring, loving support. And to quote her, I can't imagine if I believed every time someone said something to me. And we were talking about doctors and practitioners, right? This idea that people can tell us how our future is going to be. They're going to tell us what we can and cannot do. No, thank you. And so I admit to being a toxic positivity person, using quotes, using inspirational quotes, motivational quotes to get me through a difficult time, and they still do. And I want to apologize to anyone and everyone who I ever silver lininged. So I know that that's not a verb. However, when I was in the state that I was in so much physical pain, so much emotional pain, panic, etc., I believe that when people came to me when they were moving through challenges, I didn't know how to hold space or listen in the way that I do now. And I could still do better. I still could do leaps and bounds better. But I apologize if you didn't feel like I fully heard you and I skipped to the good stuff. Because being in such a challenging, dark, difficult place, not admitting it at the time, but being in it, when people came to me with their challenges, with their difficulties, I wanted to be there. I wanted to care. I wanted to listen. I did care. I loved them. I listened. But then part of my brain would go, but it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Because I had to believe that I was going to be okay. I had to believe that I was going to get out of a bedroom that I stared out the window of for a long time. And I did. And then I ended up back there again. And then I did. And then I ended up back there for a long time. But if I don't have that belief that things are going to get better, then there are moments where it's like, what do I have? Now I know that I have a wonderful life. I have amazing people in my life. I have so much love in my life. But there are moments when I am in the depths of despair, as Anne of Green Gables would talk about in the Lucy Maud Montgomery's novel series. And I'm making a choice. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I feel as though when I share online, and probably when I shared on this podcast, and we're now on episode 18, which is amazing, I want to share my lived experience, and I want to continue to share healing tools and resources and connect you with people over time that could help you on your healing journey, whatever it is that you're healing. Is it physical? Is it emotional? Do you even not know that it's there yet, but you're going to eventually uncover something that you want to heal? I want to be able to help with that. And as I was reflecting this evening, I'm going to continue to do that, to share tools, to share resources, journaling prompts, different things that have helped me over time that may or may not help you or someone you know or someone you love. But the best thing I could ever share is that allowing yourself to grieve whatever challenge you're moving through, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's the loss of an ability that you used to have physically, whether it's the loss of the life that you thought you would have. The best thing I could ever share is grieve that. Allow yourself to grieve that, and grieve it over and over and over. Maybe you grieve it for a little while and then it pops back up. And you move into a place of surrender, which brings you to acceptance. And when you get there, you make a choice of how you're going to see things, of how you're going to frame things. If you have a doctor that says to you, this is as good as it's going to get, then it's up to you to choose how you're going to see your future. Because even as I just said that, it's so detrimental to say that to someone. In my case, my brain is healing. The brain is neuroplastic. And there were many moments today. I put my clothes on today. I got ready to go pick up. I ordered some things that I have to pick up, or I get to pick up at JISC. And I wanted to pick up some things for my mom because she's coming into town later in the week. I had my clothes on. I was ready to go. I couldn't do it. I was too tuckered out. I took my clothes off. I put my house coat on. I went back to sleep. That was after that had already happened earlier today, where I was like, okay, I'm going to get in the shower. I'm going to do this. And I have had migraine after migraine after migraine. And that's a bummer. And sometimes that can feel sad, and sometimes it doesn't. And when it feels sad, I allow myself to feel sad. I allow myself to say, well, that's unfortunate that I didn't get to do the things today that I would have wanted to do. But I can choose how I see that. I can say, you needed to rest today. You can get that stuff tomorrow. It's okay. I can extend loving kindness to myself and self-compassion, and I can say, I know it's difficult, love. I know you wanted to go and do those things. I know you wanted to go for a walk outside, but I tapped in and I asked myself, what do my brain and body need? I wanted to go to the swimming pool. I told people that's what I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because when I tapped in and closed my eyes and said, what do my body and brain need? It wasn't that. It was rest. And so I could choose to see today as a day where I had all these things I wanted to do and I couldn't do them, and I'm mad and I'm angry and I'm disappointed. Or I could choose to say, well, thank goodness you didn't have anything pressing. Thank goodness you can pick up those things tomorrow or the next day if you have to. But I'm not going to choose to see today as a failure. I'm not going to choose to see myself as someone who's not capable of doing certain things. Today just wasn't the day. And that's okay. And there were moments today where I was sad and disappointed. And those moments don't last very long. And I don't say that to be like, rah, rah, yay me. It doesn't last that long. I'm just being honest. It doesn't last that long because I allow myself to grieve and I come back to it. And then I move into surrender and I move into acceptance. And I choose how to look at my life. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I was in the shower and I was thinking about crying in front of my niece and having a conversation with her and letting her know I'm okay and going and having some fun and thinking to myself, it's actually good that this child has seen me cry because I cry here, there, and everywhere, emotional reasons, physical pain, what have you, even if it doesn't last for a long, long time. And I thought, I am allowing myself to be human, and I'm making a choice to reframe, to refocus, to be loving and compassionate to myself. But that's a choice. When I share online and it's super positive, or it's like I am celebrating myself, that's because those are the moments where I feel inspired to share, because I think, oh, wow, you just went through a difficult pain flare and now you can share what you learned from it. Or you can celebrate yourself for moving through it in the way that you did. But I'm making a choice. And I truly believe we all have choices. I am making an intentional choice to trust and believe and have faith that the best is yet to come. I could have sat here today and cried all day long and thought, gosh, you're back here again. You're back here again. You're too tuckered out to even leave the house. But I didn't go there because I believe it's just a blip. And maybe I am delusional. The blip might last a few more days. Maybe the blip will last a few weeks. And maybe in my trust and belief that the best is yet to come, maybe that does sound delusional. But I make a choice to see the universe as friendly. I make a choice to not let the discouragement, disappointment, or frustration take over my life. But that's a choice. because someone like my niece who only ever sees me happy, who only ever sees me smiling, of course I'm happy and smiling. I'm spending time with her and I'm thrilled and I cherish every moment. We pre-celebrated her birthday the other day because I won't be around, and oh my gosh, it was just pure joy. So I guess what I'm saying is I believe we all have choices. And I know that that can be a bold statement because yes, low mood, depression, anxiety, those things exist. Those things are prevalent. And my heart is with you. If you are feeling any of those things, if you're moving through those things, navigating, if your mental health is not optimal, mine has been up and down quite a bit these last few months. I was with a friend yesterday and I was like, well, then this happened at the beginning of the year. Oh, and then this happened. Oh, and then this happened. I was like, well, you know what? Life is just happening. Life is happening to all of us. And we have choices. I can choose to sit here and say, well, that was a crappy day. What a bummer that I couldn't do this. And ugh. But instead, I'm going to look at it and say, good for you for resting when you knew you needed to rest. Good for you for not getting in your car and driving when you knew that that would make your brain more tired. Good for you for not catastrophizing. I'm going to celebrate that I listened to what my body and brain needed, that hopefully by doing that tomorrow, I will feel more energetic and a bit lighter. And if I don't, then we'll deal with that as it comes. Because that's another choice, a choice to take each breath as it comes, take each moment as it comes. I've had the urge lately to cancel on people because I haven't been feeling optimal. And then I didn't do it. And yesterday, I was almost falling asleep when my friend arrived and we were able to get outside. The sun came out. We had some ice cream. And we had one of the most beautiful, connected, heart-flowing conversations and quality time together than we have ever had. And I have known this person since, I think, 2007. What a gift. Could you allow yourself to be more human? And could you think about one thing in your life that maybe you're being cynical about? One thing in your life that you are overthinking? One thing in your life that you are letting have a dark cloud over you versus thinking about it in a new way, opening yourself up to possibilities? Because I think that's all I'm doing. I'm just reframing something that could be devastating, could be a bummer. Because I have come back to this place so many times of pain and fatigue, and it can be frustrating and it can be disappointing. And it is, but it just isn't for that long because I trust and believe that the best is yet to come. I know that there are things in my life that I want and desire that will come. I often just say to myself, it'll come, my love. It'll come. The connected, loving, caring, romantic relationship I desire, it'll come whenever it comes. Feeling stronger, feeling better, it'll come because that's something I'm focusing on. And did things go a little sideways in the last week? Sure. But I'm going to get back on track. And if tomorrow my brain is available for it, I will go for that walk or I will go to the swimming pool, whatever feels best. So I invite you to think about one thing that feels daunting, one thing that feels scary, one thing that's frustrating or disappointing that you could start to shift your perspective about, that you could look at different possibilities, that you could try and see in a different way. Maybe you share with someone you love about it and you say, hey, I'm feeling really stuck about this. Could we talk about it? I invite you to tell somebody, I'm struggling with this. It's challenging. Can you help me talk through it? Or can you just listen? Because sometimes if someone listens, we get it up and out, we say it out loud, and it kind of leaves our body, it leaves our heart, it leaves our mind, so we feel more free. Maybe talking to someone and brainstorming about, okay, this thing isn't going to go away, so how can we reframe, refocus, see things in a more positive light? Because I think especially as we get older, when life is lifing and life is happening, it's easy to look at things in a negative light. It's easy to let the negativity bias take over and look at all the frustrating and challenging things that happen versus the really amazing, wonderful things that have happened. And I've talked about that before, looking back on your week, looking back on your day. What were the positive things that happened? And it happens to me when I'm in more physical pain. It happens when I've had more migraines. It is more challenging to see the positives. But like I said, I will continue to intentionally make the choice to believe that good things are happening. I will think about the positive things that happened today. A conversation with a friend of mine where I told her that I believe that there are good men out there. I believe that there are generous, caring, thoughtful men that are a soft place to fall, a soft place to land. I believe they're out there because I've had many conversations lately where people my age, and I am 45 and a half, talk about how as we get older, there's the dating pool is smaller and there's less good ones out there. No, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe it. Because if I believe that, then that's what I'm going to see. But if I believe that there are good men, good women, good humans out there that want to be in loving, caring, generous, thoughtful, supportive relationships, deeply intentional, connected, intimate relationships, then I'm going to come across these people. I'm going to cross their paths. Maybe we're meant to be together, maybe we're not. But I am choosing to see the light. I am choosing to see the good, and I implore you, even if it's just one thing today before you go to bed, please think about one good thing that happened. One smile that someone shared with you. One moment where you were giddy. One moment where you felt like, oh, that person was kind. One moment where you felt kind. These are the things that we can do to train our brains to focus on more and more good, to have more joy in our lives. If I'm always focusing on the pain that I experience, all I would be doing is focusing on the pain that I experience. It's constant, it's all the time. So I can grieve it, I can surrender to it, I can ask it, what are you here to teach me? And today it was here to teach me, you're not going to the swimming pool, you're not going to JISC, you're not going for that walk. Even if you told yourself you would, even if you told other people that's what you were going to do, that wasn't for you today, and that's okay. That is okay, my love. Tomorrow is a new day, it's a fresh start, and you can try again. And if you're not feeling optimal tomorrow, you can cross that bridge when you come to it. But these are some of the ways that I can stay positive, that I can continue to believe that people are good, that the universe is friendly, that good things are always out there happening for you, for me, that life is happening for me, that I love life and life loves me. These are things that I believe. And I am going to make a promise to you right now and a promise to myself. I'm never going to stop believing that the best is yet to come. And I hope that you continue to believe the same. I am sending you love, whatever you are moving through. I am sending huge heart hugs. I am so, so thankful for you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for allowing me to be human. Thank you for allowing me to share from my heart. And if you want to connect further, you can find me on Instagram at danielle.sutty, on Facebook at Danielle Sutty. You can email me at dksutty@yahoo.ca. I love you. I appreciate you. Please keep allowing yourself to be human. And please keep making the choice to see the good, to look for the good, to focus on the good, and may you experience more and more and more joy every day.